I'm Amy Horowitz, Group Vice President at Informatica. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with two incredible leaders who are helping shape the future of data and AI. As part of our Global Data Power Women feature, we'll be diving into their leadership journeys, challenges they've overcome, and how they're driving innovation while navigating the evolving landscape of AI and data governance. I'm honored to be joined by Carla Eid, Senior Vice President of Data and AI Architecture and Governance at PepsiCo, along with Jennifer Mezzio. Thank you both for being here, the work you're doing, and leading the way and inspiring across the industry. Carla, let's come back to you. In your experience, how do you navigate the balance between fostering innovation with AI while maintaining effective governance and risk management?
So for us, balancing AI innovation with governance is about treating governance as an enabler, not a roadblock. So this is done through a three-part strategy. Number one is integrating governance directly into the product lifecycle using a responsible AI framework to build safe, fair, and compliant systems from the start. Number two, we adopt a risk-based approach that tailors governance to the specific project risk level, avoiding unnecessary bureaucracy and allowing for faster innovation on lower risk projects. And number three, fostering a culture of responsible AI by empowering all users to be the first line of defense, ensuring everyone understands and helps manage AI risks. Ultimately, this approach will ensure that innovation is not only possible, but also scalable, safe, and aligned with ethical and regulatory standards. The way we describe responsible AI, we say it's the seatbelt that will allow AI innovations to go faster.
I love that. I feel like we need shirts that say that. That's amazing. So I'm going to stay with you for a second because you hit on this. I want, if you can share a little bit more, how do you ensure that governance doesn't slow down innovation? You said it's the enabler, not the roadblock. How do you do that? Can you give us some examples?
Yes, we focus on primarily two things, right? One is we deploying automation to automate our governance checks and processes where possible. So that will accelerate the governance process itself. And second, we're partnering with our implementation groups to adopt AI standards within our implementation processes, thereby allowing us to streamline governance efforts. This is because when our processes are configured to deliver trustworthy AI, so basically processes and platforms configured to deliver trustworthy AI out of the box, our governance team can get out of the way on low-risk AI initiatives. They can then focus where their risk is higher and where trading off speed is no longer the priority.
Great. Thank you so much. So Jen, let's start with you on this question. So in your experience, how do you navigate the balance between fostering that innovation that AI is trying to bring to your organization, but also maintaining that effective governance and risk strategy?
I think for me, and what I've learned is it's involving our stakeholders, right, in a timely manner, making them part of the change, making part of the process, but making sure that they have communication along the way. You know, why do we need this risk model? Why do we need this governance? And what outcomes will that bring? You know, how does it drive the innovation and deliver what we need it to from a data perspective?
So same question I asked Carla, how do you ensure that what you're doing, these governance process and procedures, even if you involve the business, how do you ensure that it doesn't slow down your innovation?
Yeah, I mean, we're all innovating so quickly, right? And again, you know, our businesses, this isn't their full-time job to be our partners. And so we have to, myself and my team, we have to understand and respect that. We surely make it part of the risk, as Carla had said, part of our risk model, ensuring that, you know, it's baked into our ecosystem as we go and develop.
Great. So I'm going to stick with you for this one, this last question on this part. Can you share an example where governance added unexpected value?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, luckily the HR space is a great way to show value on governance. In HR, you know, there's so much personal information, and it's kind of how I look at information across the company, not so much client and employee, right? But more of our personal information. You know, we want to ensure that everyone feels safe, that their information is safe within HR. Allowing us to put that governance model on it has not only allowed us to understand where our data is, especially from a global perspective, as we look at global data laws and regulations are from a global perspective, but it also allows us to monitor where our human resources information is going and ensure that it's it's governed along the way, because we all know everyone outside HR does need access to HR information. So how do we get it to them and make sure that it's governed? And allowing this governance model to come in has given us the opportunity to do just that.
So work faster. That's another. Great. Carla, same question to you. So can you share an example where PepsiCo, got value unexpectedly from governance?
Yes. So while Jen took an HR one, I'll take a consumer-facing one. So we were building a Gen AI avatar to give our consumers product guidance. So the primary goal of governance was to prevent the AI from giving bad advice and damaging brand trust. So our governance framework required us to do an enhanced type of testing called red teaming, where we intentionally try to break the system by simulating adversarial and unexpected behaviors. So this process revealed vulnerabilities and brand risks we hadn't anticipated. So our governance teams worked alongside the project team to define better guardrails, and the collaboration led to improved performance of the avatar. So the brand teams were delighted. The unexpected value was that governance didn't just protect us, it made our product more resilient and reliable. So governance here was a catalyst for building a superior, more robust consumer experience.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so let's talk about change management. Both of you have talked about building literacy within your organization. Carla, I'm going to stick with you on this one. What role does change management and building data or AI fluency play in your efforts to scale around AI solutions?
So change management and building data and AI fluency are absolutely critical to our ability to scale AI solutions. Our approach here is to foster a culture where the organization views data as a strategic asset and AI as a key enabler for innovation and growth. So without a workforce that trusts and understands these technologies, even the most advanced solutions are going to fail to achieve adoption and deliver value. So to drive this cultural shift, we've developed a targeted strategy that tailors education, training, and engagement to specific personas, including business leaders, transformation leaders, data owners, and AI users. So these efforts aim to shift the mindset, build confidence in AI tools, and reduce resistance to adoption. We also emphasize, of course, responsible use, helping associates identify and mitigate AI risks.
Okay, so you've talked about the personas and the training and awareness initiatives you have. How do you measure improvement in data literacy across your organization?
Yeah, I mean, we use two approaches. One is the training itself, training completion metrics, number of people who attended these education sessions. But the other one is also change adoption indicators. So we take a look at other metrics like increased use of AI tools or integration of AI in various products or higher data quality metrics. So those are also indicators of progress in driving data and AI fluency.
Great. Thank you. Jen, I'm going to kick it back over to you. What role does change management and building data or AI fluency play in your efforts to scale your AI solution?
Yeah, change management is fundamental because we can't make change by ourselves in data. If we could have done that, we would have done that, right? And so we need our organization to understand that every single individual within that organization is a data steward of the data, regardless if they have it in their title or not. And how do we do that? We do that with our education, we do that with our training, and we ensure that they have an understanding of exactly what data is, but also why it's important for their job. I think that is the core of any data management, is to help the individual understand their role in that change and why their role is so important for that change to be successful.
Can you share some of the training or awareness initiatives that have been most effective for you?
Yeah, so we have done, similar to what Carla had said, we roll out trainings online for individuals, right? We have our yearly compliance training, but we also go off and we do our road shows. And what that is it really allows us to be one-on-one with our business. Again, we are training them on, everything from, what does it mean to be a data steward, which my example before, to what is it that the data team does and why is it that your role is important, but also, what is it if we don't have, we're training them on, how do we spot, not having the right governance in place? How do we ensure that, we're bringing our partners in at the right time to have the proper data roles and data security so projects can just move faster?
Is there a specific way, Jen, that you measure improvement in data literacy across your organization?
Yeah, similarly, it's with metrics. I mean, data was data, right? And so we want to make sure that we're always hitting that mark. The measurable to me is always metrics, but another measurable is a little bit on the side of just observation. So if I'm looking at across a project, am I stumbling in the same areas as I was before? Are we working through our data quality issues, our data discrepancies, and working through not from a data perspective, but also with our stakeholders? The more they understand the importance of data, the more they understand their role as a data owner, the quicker we seem to iterate through our projects. And that to me is more of that observational outside of our metrics that shows me that what we've been doing has been successful.
So looking forward, Carla, how do you envision the future of data and AI leadership evolving? And what reflections, this is a two-part question, and what reflections or advice would you offer to those pursuing this path?
So the future of data and AI leadership will be defined not just by the technical mastery alone, but by the ability to lead enterprise-wide transformation. So as AI becomes more and more embedded across every function, marketing, operations, R&D, customer experience, leaders must move from being builders of capability to orchestrators of impact. So tomorrow's data and AI leaders will be strategic influencers, shaping business outcomes, building trust in data, championing responsible human-centered AI. They'll also be storytellers who make insights actionable, and culture shapers who drive fluency and adoption, and connectors who bring technology or bridge technology with business value. So my advice is definitely master the tools, but don't stop here. Invest as much in understanding the business, inspiring people, and navigating change.
Thank you so much. You shared the skills and the mindsets that are most critical that you
Yes.
see. Carla, how, unless you want to elaborate on that a little bit more, what skills or mindsets will be most critical for these future data leaders?
Yes, I would say the following: strategic thinking, ability to connect data initiatives to business value and long-term goals, storytelling and influence, ability to translate complexity into compelling narratives that drive action, curiosity and continuous learning, for sure, responsible AI and ethics, leading with fairness, transparency, and accountability, cross-functional collaboration. It's going to involve working across multiple teams from the business, legal, etc., and change leadership, driving cultural adoption of data and AI across all levels of the organization.
So, Carla, how do you personally stay informed about emerging trends and best practices?
So I follow a two-layered approach, basically blending external insights with internal learning. So on the external side, I try to attend conferences and actively follow industry thought leaders and journals and trusted sources like Gartner, McKinsey, etc., to track trends in AI, data governance, and digital transformation. And then equally important is staying close to our internal innovation. So staying connected to the various projects, which will help ground trends in practical application and business relevance.
Let's do a round of quick fire and some closing reflections. This is my favorite part of the interviews. Carla, what advice do you have for rising women data leaders?
So my advice is twofold. First, definitely build your technical credibility, but at the same time, your true power as a leader lies in your ability to translate the technical knowledge into business value. So your unique skill is really connecting the complex world of data to the strategic vision of the company. And second, be a proactive networker. Seek out mentors who can provide guidance and sponsors who will advocate for you, because your career trajectory will be defined as much by your relationships as it is by your skills.
Okay, one more question, quick fire. What's one big opportunity you see in data and AI in the next year?
The biggest opportunity I see is the shift from AI for efficiency to AI for transformation. And by that, I mean we're moving past the initial wave of using AI to automate individual tasks within a process. The real value lies in leveraging AI to fundamentally re-architect entire workflows from the ground up. This means business should redesign their processes with AI at its core, reinventing how humans and AI work together, enabling new levels of value creation.
Thank you to our Global Data Power Women honorees for sharing their insights today. For more information and interviews and stories, please visit cdomagazine.tech.